So I shot my first concert and it was a vibe. Not a preface. I saw Connor Price and Graham in LA on the Connor Price's Price Tour in 2024. So I was a little familiar with their music, so I already went in to this show knowing what their performance style is and how they like to get involved with the crowd. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted aspects of that. But it was cool just to kind of be able, and it was my first time going to a concert by myself, which honestly, it wasn't weird as like nerve-wracking as that probably could have sounded. I probably wouldn't have been saying that maybe like 4 or 5 years ago about going to a concert by myself, especially in another state. I didn't know anybody, but it was cool because then I could just like float around and enjoy the music, but also like just focus on like getting the content that I wanted to make. I'll actually roll a little highlight. For many reasons, I can't use the music that I actually used on my Instagram reel, because I use a lot of Nick D's and Connor's music and Graham's music in that one, just so it could, I don't know, I just wanted to give it justice, but also match their performance. Some of the songs that they were performing was primo, but here on YouTube, I don't want to get copyright stricken because I already tried to upload this once and I found out I was blocked because I used too much of a song prior, which is Caveman by Connor Price and Nick D, Paperboys, which is fire. And so I just want to break down like what I used, because I know that that's something, especially going to concerts, especially if you don't have a media pass. If you don't have a media pass, you're kind of limited onto what you can bring. And I just wanted to keep it as light as possible, so I didn't want to get in trouble. Because as soon as I walked through security, I had a tripod in my pocket, then I had my camera case, a little mini camera case, and they were like patting me down, searching me. So I'm like, yeah, I couldn't imagine if I tried to come in here with a full kit and without a media pass, probably would have got rejected. But yeah, so it was fun. So I wanted to share what the cameras I actually used with me was. So I had 3 cameras with me when I was going around. So I had my Insta360 Go Ultra. This is my Sony CyberShot, which is funny. I found this when I was in high school, I think. I was rummaging around my parents' stuff and like this was just sitting at their house. So I had that, and then also have my iPhone 17 Pro. So these were the 3 cameras that I was using, and I got all of this footage. And something that I really thought about was 2 aspects. Of course, you want to get the performer. So there's Graham was the opener for Connor Price and Nick D, and then this was their headline tour because they're the Paperboys, and they just dropped an album a couple weeks ago. So that was really cool. But so that was kind of mine. Just make sure I got pictures of the headliners, and I wanted to mix that between my phone and my CyberShot, which actually gets surprisingly, I think the CyberShot took some of my favorite photos compared to what I got off my phone. Because how I kind of paired it is my CyberShot was my kind of vintage camcorder kind of camera and photos. And I just used my phone for video because of the 8x zoom. I could get larger, I could get closer shots, especially from where I was standing. I didn't want to get in the crowd. I'm not that tall. Well, I'm 6 foot on a good day, but also don't want to get in a crowd full of people and like have my phone out and all that stuff, because then it's like ruins the vibe for other people. So I just kind of wanted to float around. So that's why I kind of kept my kit as light as possible. I didn't want to be a distraction, not only for myself, but also for other people and make people feel uneasy. I wanted to get this like time lapse shot with my Go Ultra, but my lens is cracked, so it like kind of flared out some of the lighting, but also like the sensor isn't that big, so how it handled light wasn't how I anticipated, and the stabilization isn't as smooth as it is on my phone. But I ended up getting it. I just took a long video and just kind of walked around. I'll show the clip and like how I used it in the edit. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed just what I like about Connor and Nick's audience is like it's such a mix of parents and kids and like teens, young adults, all that. Like everyone is just sitting there vibing out to their music and they're just having a great time. Like, it was a really cool atmosphere. And the venue, the Steelhouse in Omaha, it was so nice. Like, they had an upper deck where you could sit. You had to pay like $30 extra, but they gave you like a drink and food voucher with that. So it was only like $19. But they had like a nice balcony up top, and then like the floor was like 2 levels, so you could walk around the outer rim, which is where I was at most of the time. Then you can get down on the floor, and like the floor was massive. Like, it was pretty packed, from some of the, at least from looking at the footage. But I had a lot of fun. And then I'll just take you through some of what I did in the edit of how I just wanted to make it feel a little different, because I've never shot a concert. I never shot a concert before. Never made a concert like highlight reel and none of that stuff. So I'll take you to the edit, and then we'll walk through like some of my favorite bits that I did.
If I'm sipping that solo, fill it with iced tea.
Okay, for copyright reasons, I muted a lot of this. I'm muting a lot of the music. So I just wanted to get an intro shot of obviously going into the venue to kind of show where we're at. But I like to add a little movement, because on still shots are nice, but if you can get some sort of get the energy going, that's kind of what I was going for. So there's a lot of zoom ins for most of this, and it was crazy. Funny enough, they were doing a bit for their vlog, and Connor just happened to emerge out of the crowd, and he like walks right past us, and he's talking to one of the kids, asking who would he choose, Connor Price or Nick D. So that was fun. That was funny. A nice, pretty random shot. But here, you know, a nice little flash transition is just nice to kind of get it started off. And Graham's set was really good, so I really liked to see opening shots to see like how packed it was, just to show like how packed it was, and there's all the people that were there and the fun lights. And then what was interesting, what I did, I went from the 1.5 or the 1x zoom to the 8x zoom, so it created this nice little zoom effect right there. And then I cut to another shot of Graham just getting closer. And then this shot is from the cyber shot, and it adds like this nice little vintagey look. And then I added a map box over the top of it, because I shot it horizontally just to kind of give it a better frame, to put that over it. And then I also added a VHS effect, and with a screen filter over the top of it. So if I turn that off, you just kind of see the shot as it is, but the little VHS effect just gave it a little bit more character. That's what I wanted to go for. And these shots came from my cyber shot. And I'll pop up the picture of like when the cyber shot came out, but this is like one of the frames that came out of it, and I really like this frame too. This was so cool. The kind of mood lighting from the lighting engineers, they did such a great job on the show. It was really cool. And similar effect, and I zoom in as they're setting up where Connor Price and Nick D were about to come out. Ooh, and they did this nice like cinematic instrumental to Easy. I'll play a clip of it right here. Hold on. How they just added like the crazy. I forgot I muted so they had this. I couldn't mimic it exactly, so I took their track, the intro to it, I stripped the audio, so just for copyright reasons. So I stripped down where it's just the vocal. So I put a voice isolation filter over the track so I can get the audio. And then I added this effect called Cathedral, and it gives it like, hold on. So we'll go to, so I put it on this filter. So I mute it. And so here's the track without it. You keep on running around. So you can still hear some of the audio there. And now that I put it back on, here's how it sounds with Cathedral on. So in the show, they had a similar effect where they isolated it and gave it a nice dramatic upbuild. So they added like some drums and some nice, I want to say horns maybe, to give it a nice elevated feeling. This is how they open their show. So I really like that. So I wanted to do my best to imitate that. And I didn't just want to have static shots when it came to filming the show, because there's going to be a lot of, okay, they're at this point and this point. And so what I did, and a skill that I use a lot, is masking. And what's cool in Final Cut Pro is there's this tool called Magic Mask. So I put a magic mask over the top of Connor so I could isolate him from the back. And so what I do whenever I do this, a lot of times I'll show in another clip. So I'll stack them together. And then so I just isolated Connor, and you can see the mask here. So yeah, there you go. So you can see the mask and what it maxes out. And then I exit out of that, click done, and bam. So now it removes him from the background, and I just added like a scratch TV effect. And so similar shot. So it's the same shot with Nick D came up. So I'm like, okay, how can I do this? I don't want to repeat what I just did with Connor. And I took that and I just masked Nick out. And then I just dropped the saturation on Nick. So when the beat hit, it was here, and then all of a sudden, bam, his color's gone. But it just like gives it a nice little visual cue of something for the highlight reel. And this is something that I thought, this is one of my favorite shots. Like, to see the whole crowd just vibing out to these guys. And like, as you can see, like there's some parents, there's kids, and that's just like, this is the audience demographic, and there's all flooded the floor. It was crazy to see. Like, you can get a glimpse of this, and there's a couple other shots here, but I really like that shot. Just add a little zoom in feature, add in a scale effect there. And then another thing I like to do is look for people who have their phones out. And that's a nice way to give a different perspective, because obviously I can film through my phone, but I'd focus on their phone like I did in this shot here. And I thought about zooming in. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll do like a Ken Burns where I can zoom in through, but that means I could just mask it out, but I didn't want to do that this time around. So I did that, and then it was a nice way to cut from there to with the transition. So I do a flash to photos I took, and this is from my iPhone. I really like this shot. I like how the colors like hit Nick's hair and kind of gives it a nice color play. And then I love this one, came from the cyber shot. I love like the motion blur in it, and it's like the motion, obviously there's motion blur, but I like just how the movement in this shot feels. And I just slapped it in black and white because I really didn't like how it looked in color. And then this shot was fire too. I wish this person's hand wasn't in the way, because it would have been a similar shot to the one that was in color. But this is really cool. And a shout out to Toddy in the back. He's Nick's videographer. Super cool guy. I was happy to funny enough to catch a couple shots of him, so I sent those over to him too. So that was cool. But like, these are some of my favorite shots. And then this one came from my iPhone, and so similar situation. I just really didn't like how it came out in color, so I just stripped it, put it in black and white, and then through editing I saw like just how much texture and like emotion that was in it when you start playing with the different sliders. And then this came out like this kind of glowy effect. Granted, it does look like there's a ray coming out of his armpit, but just some of the lighting effects looked really cool. I really enjoyed this. This is one of my favorite shots too. But other than that, I think there's one more effect I wanted to show. Like, this is how I use masking. So here, so got this effect because I've seen other people do this by hand. Like, that is probably the easiest way to do that. They're not easiest way. This is the cleanest way to do it is to you'd print out clips of a shot on little squares, and then you hand draw on all of them. But I didn't want to do that. I just figured, okay, I understand like how masking goes in Photoshop. I just didn't know how to layer it properly in Final Cut. So what I did is I grouped these together, and a similar situation. So funny enough, there's an overlay where I put Connor's original clip that's under it, and all I did was turn on overlay to lighten it up, and then I just cut the different shots of textures underneath it because I didn't want to animate all of this. So I just alternated all the shots, and then I used masking again. So over the top, after there's a group layer, I did a magic mask and I masked out Connor over the top because he has an overlay, but because everything's grouped together, it'll all function as just under one please. So I did that, and just to make sure the clips are all matched up, I just kept everything underneath it to keep it aligned. And so all that gives it a little animation effect there. And stacking your clips is cool. I really enjoy that. Like, you got having a vertical frame, so that was cool. Vertical frame, and then you put a horizontal frame, all have the same motion, but it was cool. And then similar thing I did previously, I'd mask out Connor and Nick, and all I did was I put a VHS effect over this clip, and then I just did the VHS, and then just masked out over the top and just stacked. So this is one clip, 2 clips, 3 clips. You can just stack them like that. Just stack them all together. Forgot one. Stack them all together just to give it a nice little play in motion. So, and then, okay, this was a shot I was going for. Originally, it was just a long video clip. I tried to do it once prior and it got like really shaky. So I just took a video, and how fast did I? So this is at 270, but when I go into this again, this was actually sped up to 1048%. So that's just all one clip, just sped up. And sometimes with processing with Final Cut, if you stack or group them, it helps with the processing of the clip. So I just did that, and then I reversed it. That's all. That's really simple. And do a 3 frame with all, if you have all vertical videos, especially, or all horizontal videos and you want to make a short or a reel out of it, I just stack them all and just kind of make sure you have different angles or different focal lengths. So this is, the top one's a wide. This one's a close-up from, I was on the right side of stage, and then this bottom one is from the back of the stage. But I really liked how they had the fan cam in the back on this one, where you can see them and you can see the crowd. I really like that shot too. But overall, like, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed. That was my experience. Just filming my first concert. I had a lot of fun. And then I was watching their vlogs. So what they've been doing is doing a vlog a day for each concert that they've given. So this was their 6th show, I think. Their 6th show. So they would do is after the show, they'll go back, see all the fans who are waiting on them. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go out there and see if I can meet them. And initially I was going to like have my Go Ultra, had it on my chest, right? Then I was like, that's kind of weird. For real. So it was kind of weird. So I took it off. And I just like sat and talked with, got in line, talked with them, met the guys, and we took a picture together, and it was cool. Like they're all super chill. Connor, he's been acting since he was a kid. And on top of, he started doing music 5 or 6 years. Well, he's been doing music for a while, but it really took off during the pandemic. That's how I got introduced to him, was during the pandemic. I talked to Connor, then talked to Nick. If I come to find out, Nick was a wedding videographer and photographer for 10 years. Toddy told me that. Toddy is Nick's cameraman. And so I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because then if you see their skits that they do together, like it makes a lot of sense why they both have like this level of understanding and way of framing their shots and things like that. But it was really cool. And then Graham, crazy thing is, Graham was already on a tour prior to jumping on this tour, because Graham produces a lot of Connor and Nick's music, both individually and as Paperboys. And so that was really cool, just kind of learning that about Graham, and he's super cool. And then I got to chop it up with Toddy. He is, like I said, he's Nick's videographer, and just learning more about him. And he went to Liberty University and was a videographer for their sports team, not on the creative side, but just capturing the athletics, I believe. And then from there, he's, like every videographer, you get into filming gym content from there, and he just kind of shared his experience, and we just got to chop it up. It was really cool. Just like talking to someone that you both kind of can nerd out about the same things. Like as a videographer, someone who likes capturing things, it is hard to work with other people, because Toddy said this, I was like, yeah, I get it, is where you have a vision in your mind, but communicating that is a little bit more difficult to someone who doesn't understand. And I think that's what Toddy mentioned. It works well with him and Nick, because Nick worked in weddings industry for about 10 years. So he knows photography and videography, and he knows the perspective and terminology. But it was funny, Toddy mentioned that the hardest thing was because Nick has that background, he holds Toddy to accountability, because he knows how long an edit could take, and he knows like all these like minutia about it all. So that was funny. But yeah, there's that. Oh crap, I just kicked that, my bad. Ooh. But they have a super cool team. I got to talk to Alex, the tour manager, really cool guy, and they have a really nice team behind them, from top to bottom, like whether it's their merch team, because I think it's Seth, who is Bree's brother and Connor's brother-in-law. I think Graham's wife was on the works the merch counter. I think so. I can't remember that off the top of my head for sure, but I think so. So that's them. So it's like a very family-oriented crew. And then all the guys, like they're all super chill. You could tell they enjoy being around each other and spending time together. So if you get a chance, check out their vlogs from this tour. It's so cool to see how each crowd from each different state is bringing different energy, bringing different personality. So that's all. Yeah, this is my first experience shooting a concert, and I would do it again. I would 100% do it again. Yeah, but it was fun. So if you're afraid to like do things by yourself, it is a bit nerve-wracking, but it's also a lot of fun. So give it a try. It's your boy Groovy. I'm gonna hot you later. See you next week. Peace.